in my practice, I'm really interested in not just like material concerns, but also how those concerns can direct the conceptual development of my work. And so with this series, you know, I was coming off of work that was really about this one contemporary moment with him and the politics behind that. And after that series, I was doing a lot of like experimenting with different sort of materials and surfaces, and at that time too, I just stopped competing as an athlete, and that was something I'd done for like 15 years of my life. That was all I did basically. So I had that little personal like, you know, thing in my life going on, and I kind of wanted to bring that into my work, and that had always been something of interest to me, that performative aspect of me as an athlete. And so a lot of my work involves research of historical events, perspectives, and things like that. So when I was thinking about performance, I really thought about it in an athletic sort of way. And the most literal thing that came to my mind for me was the 1936 Olympic Games, and that really being this like turning point in the way in which, you know, the representation of blackness, more importantly, I think on a global scale kind of shifted. And I was really interested in how the public space of the athletic performance kind of really changed the perception that not only, you know, the Nazis or the German state had at that time, but also everyone else. So I kind of use his figure as a way to reinterpret what blackness could be and how it's represented, and I literally do that through the collaging of bodies on top of each other and the use of this material called carborundum, which you use in lithography to clean a stone. You literally pour it, it's like salt, pour it on your stone, and you erase your image. And so I was using it as a sort of metaphor and way to bring forth images that are oftentimes culturally and politically ambiguous. And so I tweak that alongside the collage forms, you know, to give life to these oftentimes historically written images, but ones that I think have a lot of fluidity and that are not oftentimes seen as, you know, images that could be more than just what they're represented as in a text. When I was an athlete, there was always this moment in between where you didn't know what was going to happen. There was this conflict, anxiety about, you know, what if I'm better than this person who's supposed to be better than me, or what if I actually screwed this up and it's just really bad. So there's the beginning where you know what the stakes are because you know the deal, you know everyone's potential. And then there's the end where, you know, it's the end. But there's that moment in between where you're actually performing, where things can shift, they can be altered. So that physical moment, that physicality, I kind of wanted to bring out through the prints, and that's for the most part why I picked images where he's actually in motion or doing something. I think too with this material, it's great because there's this almost, in this light you can definitely see the sheen to it, but there's this ashiness that can, I've used the material before on larger scale, on like canvas and stuff, but there's this ashiness almost that can occur, this flatness in a way, where you don't get the difference, but yet you need to come close to investigate the image to see that. So that's one of the things that I really enjoy about the image, or about the material, compared to maybe perhaps like just erasing or covering over with paint or something. There's this sort of investigation that has to happen, and hopefully the viewer is inspired to go and look at it because it's shiny and it's artificial, it's, you know, superficial in a way. It's this layer that looks like it can come off, but it's not, or it is. So again, that like play in between. Yeah, I'm actually starting to, I was thinking about that.
Video or film?
Yeah, I'm really interested in trying to use the actual film from Olympia and somehow maybe collaging my body within that, so my body starts to act like the prints that are on here, because there are some moments where the athletes are actually performing in that, and they're not just stills of or pans of the space, but the performances that happen. But yeah, I think video would be a great segue into this work, given, you know,